on. Mrs. Stark. I'm sorry, Tony.
Is Tony Stark's return to the Marvel Cinematic Universe on the horizon? As Phase 4 introduces a new generation of superheroes, the legacy of Iron Man remains a burning question for fans, with the upcoming Ironheart series featuring Riri Williams as the new tech-savvy hero. The possibility of Tony Stark's resurgence lingers in the air. How could the MCU bring back the iconic billionaire, genius, playboy, and philanthropist? Let's delve into the intriguing prospects of Tony Stark's return and how it might shape the future of the Marvel Universe. Iron Man was the one who first set the stage for the Marvel Cinematic Universe as we know it today, with a charming Tony Stark as its central figure. Ever since Tony's farewell in Avengers Endgame, people have been eagerly waiting for someone new to step into the huge gap he left behind, just like an arc reactor-sized hole. Well, thanks to Black Panther: Wakanda Forever, we've finally met the true heir to the Iron Man legacy, Riri Williams, portrayed by the talented Dominique Thorne. Riri is a brilliant student at MIT who creates a very own flying suit inspired by the Iron Man suits. Her introduction is a big deal because she's set to headline her own Disney Plus series, Ironheart, based on the comics of the same name. So the legacy of Iron Man lives on in a fresh and exciting way. In Wakanda Forever, things get pretty intense when the US government and Namor, played by Tenaquerta Mejia, start hunting down a college student from Chicago. Why? Well, it turns out one of her designs is responsible for uncovering vibranium outside of Wakanda. Thankfully, thanks to the same smart moves by Everett Ross, played by Martin Freeman, Okoye, portrayed by Danai Gurira, and Shuri, played by Letitia Wright, managed to reach her first and try to keep her safe. But things take a twist when Shuri and Riri get captured by the Talakanil and end up in Talakan. Don't worry though, because Nakia, played by Lupita Nyong'o, comes to the rescue and gets Riri and Shuri out of there. They head back to Wakanda for some much-needed protection. Later on, Riri steps up and helps the new Black Panther and the Wakandans in a big showdown against Namor and the Talakanil. She's got an awesome vibranium suit, but unfortunately, she can't just take it home with her. The good news is that she's got all the designs to build her own flight suit whenever she needs. So even though she can't leave Wakanda with the supercharged suit, the future looks pretty bright for her. In the Ironheart comics, Riri takes on the mantle of Iron Man after Tony falls into a coma due to the events of Civil War. Drawing on her smarts and impressive engineering skills, she essentially reverse engineers her very own Iron Man suit from the ground up. With her suit, she goes on to battle villains and saves the day, much like Tony used to. As Ironheart, she becomes a valuable member of Marvel's Champions, a group of teenage heroes led by Miss Marvel. Interestingly, Miss Marvel, played in the MCU by the Iron Man superfan Iman Vellani, is the leader of this young hero team. Now, could Tony return in the form of an AI? Because of the genius of Tony Stark, Iron Man introduced AI technology to the world back in 2008 through Jarvis, brilliantly voiced by Paul Bettany. Tony had not one but two different AI systems in his corner, Jarvis and Friday, who was voiced by Kelly Condon. In Spider-Man Homecoming, Peter Parker, played by Tom Holland, gets his hands on a spiffy new Spider-Man suit equipped with an AI buddy named Karen with the voice of Jennifer Connelly. Then, in Spider-Man Far From Home, Peter inherits Tony's glasses, with Edith, voiced by Don Michelle King, built right into them. This film also marks the point where Peter wrestles with a heavy expectation of becoming the new Iron Man, but thankfully, Happy Hogan, played by Jon Favreau, steps in and lets him know that it's okay to be his own hero and chart his own path. Besides that, Shuri has her very own AI system that she uses in her high-tech labs in Wakanda. Shuri relies on Griot, voiced by Trevor Noah, to assist her in running her experiments. While Riri is in Wakanda, she also harnesses the power of Griot to help her craft an upgraded flight suit with vibranium. When she heads back to MIT and starts her own Ironheart series, it's quite likely that Riri will want to have her very own AI system, just like Shuri. Interestingly, in the comics, an AI duplicate of Tony Stark plays a key role in assisting Riri as she takes on the mantle of Ironheart. This AI version of Tony becomes a mentor to Riri as she carves out her own path as a hero. Given the use of artificial intelligence integration in both the movies and the comics, this could be a straightforward and intriguing way to bring Tony Stark back into the Ironheart storyline, ensuring his legacy lives on in a fresh and innovative manner. On top of the cool AI tech, there's a chance we could see Tony Stark making a comeback in the MCU through holograms. In the Ironheart comics, Tony sometimes pops up as a hologram, kind of like a digital version of himself, thanks to his AI running Iron Man suits and projecting his image. And in the MCU, we've already seen the Wakandans use holographic tech for communication, like those nifty Kimoyo beads. Plus, remember Tony's heartfelt message during his funeral in Endgame? He left a touching holographic message for his friends and family, like Pepper Potts and his daughter Morgan. That emotional moment opens the door for the possibility of more holograms or hidden holographic messages lurking in Tony's files. Who knows, maybe Riri will be tinkering with some old Stark Industries hardware and stumble upon a holographic version of the genius billionaire? It'd be a neat way to keep Tony Stark's spirit alive in the MCU, even if he's not physically around anymore. Now, Riri Williams is more than capable of holding her own, but Tony Stark's influence could still have a significant impact. According to Dominique Thorne in her chat with Screen Rant, Robert Downey Jr. has some wise words for her. He encouraged her to let Riri Williams be her own unique character. This kind of support hints that Downey Jr. may not be returning to the Ironheart series, truly stepping away from his role as Tony Stark. Additionally, there is some exciting casting news with Lyric Ross, who's rumored to play Riri's best friend Natalie Washington. In the Ironheart comics, this friend later becomes one of Riri's AI systems, Natalie. This suggests a connection to Tony Stark, even though he might not physically appear in the series. It's important to remember that this is Riri Williams' first foray outside of the comics, and she deserves a chance to shine on her own merit without relying on Tony Stark's shadow. This has been a point of contention in the past, especially when Tony took on a mentor role with Peter Parker in the MCU, as seen in Homecoming. However, given Tony's impact and his connection with Riri in the comics, it would be a missed opportunity if he didn't somehow make a meaningful appearance, even if it's a smaller supporting role. Thanks for tuning in to our rundown on the Iron Man legacy and the potential return of Tony Stark in the MCU. So, how do you feel about the idea of Tony Stark returning, even if it's through AI or holograms in the Ironheart series or elsewhere in the MCU? What role would you like to see him play? Share your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to subscribe and hit that bell icon for more updates on all things Marvel and beyond. Until next time.